Hey everyone, welcome back to the range. My name is Matt, also known as the Ammo Nerd and the king of FN57 by 28mm. We have a brief update today on our AR57. This is the cool little upper that feeds from our FNP 90 magazines, and it's blowback and it shoots the empty cases out of the bottom of it. Back in February, March of 2024, we did the full review on the Hornady Black 40 grain VMAX. Hornady uses their own FN57 cases and case coatings. When we were doing the velocity string on our AR57, the first round actually had a neck separation. Now that's not uncommon in our FN57 firearms, mainly because a majority of them, not all of them, a majority of them are some form of blowback. More so, the AR57 is straight blowback. That separated neck got stuck in our chamber, and subsequently the second round chambered on top of it, leaving a good portion of that case unsupported and quote-unquote out of battery. The second round fired and had a kaboom and effectively blew the magazine apart, bent parts of the receiver, including the charging handle and the little receiver plate that goes on the side that you don't want a charging handle on, as well as a couple nicks inside of the receiver, effectively making it just spare parts. The barrel and the bolt were all fine. I also had the same issue happen on our Kel-Tec P50 when we went to review it. I was using SS198 LF and the neck separated, second round fed, caused a kaboom, it blew up the magazine, and otherwise the P50 was fine. We sent it in. Kel-Tec made a bunch of upgrades, I think, to make the operating mechanism of that gun heavier, because I think it's direct blowback. But I still note when firing high performance ammunition from the P50 that we're getting a lot of signs of overpressure on our primers and still getting some separated necks. So I pretty much discontinued using our P50 going forward in any of our high performance ammunition tests, including even our Hornady Critical Defense. After we had this issue with our Hornady Black, the discussion became whether to blame the ammunition because they are using their own cases or actually blame the gun. And I came to the conclusion, because of the commonality of our separated necks when using our FN57, that I placed more blame on the design of our AR57. Even Ian over at Forgotten Weapons had a similar issue when he was reviewing their AR57. So I ended up contacting AR57 and was put in touch with the current machine shop that is doing all the production for AR57. I guess AR57 is still the same company that it was when it originally started, but it's under new management, and this is the fourth machine shop that is doing their production, and then Panzer Arms is doing the distribution for it. Effectively, Tim told me that they were aware of this particular issue with the ability of this bolt to, quote-unquote fire out of battery. So any of the production June 2023 and newer has a revised bolt that more shrouds our firing pin, so that if any length of that case is left unsupported and the bolt is further back, there is a less of a chance of that hammer hitting home and touching off that primer. After a few weeks, we had a brand new 12.5-inch upper, and our testing and use of our AR57 could continue. On this close-up, you can see our firing pin has been moved in our bolt to be more shrouded by it, so that if it is out of battery, that hammer cannot contact that firing pin unless it's almost all the way home. But there's only one way to find out. Effectively, for our test, we are going to take some primed cases. The powder and bullet have been removed, and we are in a safe direction with hearing safety and all safety precautions, and we are going to effectively see if the original bolt, which I still have, will fire out of battery with a case neck separated in the chamber, and then we'll swap in our new bolt and see if the same can be done with that one. So that is how much gap there is on the original bolt. And that primer was struck. That round went off. We have a suppressor on the end of there. So if we measure how much distance our bolt face is from our receiver, around 217 thousandths. We took the suppressor off here to show you that we're not pulling any magic tricks. That primer went off. There is our primer struck. Again, here is our original bolt. The ripped neck is in the chamber and a primed case is engaged. That went off. Here is our revised bolt. Looks like, again, we're around 215 thousandths out from the face of this upper receiver. We have the neck in there and a primed case. Go ahead and fire. No go. Attempt number 2. No fire. Attempt number 3, no fire. Well, it looks like that revised bolt will do a good job at preventing any potential out of battery firings. But again, because we're not redesigning the system and adding any safety mechanisms in there, just removing the location of that firing pin, there's still always going to be a chance that that could happen. AR57 did say that if you have an upper that predates June of 2023, you can contact them about sending in your original bolt and they will send you one of these revised bolts back. I've also been asked quite a few times to ask AR57 if they are going to produce any of those full auto bolts for this particular setup for those who have the legal means of converting those to full auto, and they pretty much said that they are not making any, but a experienced gunsmith or machinist could modify the current bolt to work in full auto setups. I did want to mention real quick that if you ever get a separated neck in any of your 5.7 guns, usually the easiest way to get it out is to run a bore brush from the muzzle end backwards, and you can knock it out if you've caught it in time. Otherwise, if you keep trying to load ammunition in there, it's going to jam it in there pretty hard. Sometimes I found a dental pick will work to pick it out, but the best thing that I've found so far is using a quarter 28 tap and coming from the chamber end with a 1/4 inch socket on there and an extension, and you slowly just turn that in there and it will grab our case and then kind of knock it loose, and then you can actually then take your cleaning rod from the other end or knock it out, or you can grab a pair of needles, pliers or something, and it usually just pulls out. I've actually removed, I think, 4 or 5 of these with this method, and it by far works the best. With all that being said, it's time for me to get the heck out of here, but at the end of all my videos, I take a moment to thank all those who help make these possible, because there's a lot that goes into them. Number 1 is my family. They are always supporting me, doing a lot of the behind the scenes things that you don't see, like running the cameras or helping me mow the yard or sort things for my dad's estate, and from time to time they are behind the trigger, so any time that I can spend with them is greatly appreciated. Number 2 are my Patreon, Subscribestar, and YouTube channels memberships. I have a campsite in the description below. It's a landing page with different ways to support the channel through affiliate links or discount tracking codes. I've got stuff to Brownells, PSA, RMA, and if you're looking to make a purchase and you want to say thank you for just the data that I presented here, like maybe you had an AR57 and you were wondering about whether yours would be safe to fire, and I helped answer that question, you want to say thank you, that's what those links are there for. I'm never here to push you towards sale. Number 3 is AR57. In full transparency, provided me with a replacement upper after I brought this to their attention from our Hornady Black review. And of course, number 4 is you all for watching. Until next time, I'll catch you at the range.